Hello again, and everybody asks me the questions about the taxes. How the taxes get assessed, how do we pay the property taxes, why do we even pay the property taxes? And a lot of people ask me, can you bring the Seminole County tax collector, and so on and on. So today I got a pleasure, after chasing him for 6.5 months, maybe even a year, to bring him to our show to share his vision and mission for the Seminole County. We'll cover up property taxes, business tax, tax and title, property search, and one of the most important thing, concealed weapon permits. Our special guest and one and only Seminole County tax collector, J.R. Kroll. Sir, thank you for coming to our show, for taking the time from your employees. I know how busy you are, and you're going to share a little bit with us your story. Why did you even decide to run for an office? Why are you not even serving as a Seminole County tax collector?
Okay. Well, thank you for having me.
No
I appreciate
problem.
it. I always like to get out there and tell the people what the whole purpose of and why I ran and what we're trying to do. I came into the office. We were it was a lot of disarray in there. It had been neglected for years and years, and then of course we had my predecessor that made quite a bit of news stir on that. So there was a lot of things I had to come in there and fix. And now we've gotten, after almost 2 years, almost to where we're starting to just get back to regular business as usual things, because everything else about the indictment and everything else has gone away. So we're just kind of moving forward now on regular business, cleaning up house, hiring more employees. We changed our tax system. We have a brand new tax system that we had to roll out last year in emergency, because our old tax system that when I got there was failing, and we had no one that could work on it at all. And when it was just a completely old 1990 system. Oh, wow. So those are just a few of the things, and obviously collecting tax is the most important thing I do. So, I can't let that fail. Yeah,
it's a revenue.
Yeah, but most people think of the tax collector, they think of the DMV.
Yeah.
Which we do the DMV work. We're an agent for the state DMV system, but we're not actually the DMV. We have to follow their rules, and we have to use their computer programs and software and everything from it. So it's very complicated for us sometimes. We can't really just change things and things that are out of our control. We still have to deal with Tallahassee on that.
Nice. So now I know. Before I want to jump to the questions and just kind of define what it is. Like, the majority of the public is like, is it the misinformed or not properly informed? What is the certain things like about property taxes? You mentioned a great project that you are now dealing with, Altamonte Springs. Can you a little bit share with you, because what is that gonna mean for the people in Seminole County?
Yeah, so when I got in, of course, I was looking at the leases, and my predecessor liked to. He had a belief to just lease everything, because he wanted to sell the properties that we currently owned and take that money. Probably take that money. So at that point, I look at it now and say we need to get back to owning the properties, because there's no reason we need to be paying leases and taxes on things that for someone else to pay. So we are tax-free as a government entity. So when we buy a building, we just own it outright. So it's we instead have a Longwood branch that we were spending $157,000 a year on leasing it. Wow. So I immediately was like, well, when is that term up? It was a 5-year lease. It ends now October 31st. So I'm in mid-construction on the Altamont building that we purchased when I first got into office. So we're still in construction on that. That one we purchased for $1.7 million, and it's less. It's like $700,000 to $800,000 is what it's costing us for the renovations for the downstairs. It's 14,000 square feet. Oh, wow. We're also eliminating the other leases, and we're going to combine it into this building, because it's a 2-story. So downstairs, we're going to have our DMV section. That's the big construction project happening now. And then upstairs, we didn't have to do really any work at all, just a few little minor updates in there. And that's going to be our accounting and IT will be housed in that there, along with records retention.
Perfect. Congratulations, man. I really love what you're doing for our Seminole County. I live in Seminole County too. So now, November is coming. We have to pay the taxes with a discount. A lot of times people have questions about the property taxes, how they are assessed and how they are calculated. Can you just define that terminology and just explain us in simple word that an average person can understand?
Yeah, so the taxes are calculated first as what they call a millage rate. That's kind of the percentage that's going to be charged, and it's not just a straight percentage, because they have to break it down between all the different divisions that get it. You're going to have all the cities that have their own millage rates, and it all comes together. So the county puts that all together as their millage rates. That's like I said, it's almost like a percentage. Then they take that number to calculate it on what the value of the property is, and that's where the property appraiser comes in. He's the one who values the property to say this house is worth X multiplied by this millage rate, and that's going to come up with what the taxes are due. So at that point, then I get sent that information from the thousands of properties that are in Seminole County, and then I'm the one who generates the bill and collects the money.
Okay.
So everyone gets mad at the tax collector when really I'm just the banker.
You're just doing your job.
I'm just like a banker. So I just take the money, I collect it all, and then I redistribute it all. I send it back to the municipality. I send it back to the cities, school board, the St. John's Water Management, all of that, and then Seminole County, they all get the money back. Is from after I've collected.
Another way I want to get you up, like we all receive those tax assessments sometime like in September or something like that, before our first bill come in November. Can you explain those are big discounts and why they are most of the busy months?
The first one we'll have is the trim notice. That comes from the property appraiser explaining what the taxes are going to be. And then when we send out the bill for November to say to pay the taxes, if you pay your taxes before November 30th or on November 30th, as long as it's not October 1st or December 1st, you'll have a 4% discount.
Okay.
Now, if you pay it in December, you only get a 3% discount. Then it goes to 2 in January, 1 in February. By the time you get to March, there's no more discount, so you're paying the full tax.
Got it. Now, let's move to the business tax. I understand property tax. How the revenue? Where do you have the most revenue coming from, the business tax or residence tax?
Oh, property tax by
Property
far.
taxes,
Yeah. I mean, business tax receipts are smaller numbers. It's very hard to collect on those if someone, doesn't pay it. How do you, it's like there's so many businesses that will open and then close and to chase it down and do the footwork for it. And it's such a small amount of money too. So all the money that we really collect and really work on the hardest is the property tax.
By any number, do you know how many current business we have in the Seminole County? How many registered business functions?
No, I unfortunately no. I don't
fine.
have that number. It changes all the time. Yeah.
Because you are. So everybody wants to know, like can you a little bit touch when we open the business? A lot of times people getting the business, they don't know where to go, how to go. How should one person, entrepreneur, open the business? The proper way to open the business and register with the taxes?
Well, you would register through our website. You can register your business tax receipt through there, and of course, it's just paid. It's a small nominal fee.
Okay.
And you get the little paper on that goes in a little frame and by your door. So if the county
do we
comes
have to
in,
keep that by the door? Is that the law? We have to keep that.
It's not by the door, but you're supposed to keep it displayed.
It has to be visible.
If they come in to check for it, it's just easier. Usually, you're going to have the cities. They also have their own. So like. When I used to do real estate, my real estate office was in Sanford, but it was in the city limits and also Seminole County. So I had to purchase 2. Okay. If you're in the city limits, you purchase 2. If you're out of the city limits, you just have to worry about Seminole County.
Got it. Now, next one, tag and title. We touched a little bit on that. People are searching for the property titles. Where they should go? How should we even find it out? Like somebody wants to research for the property. A lot of times there's a tax lien on the property or the property deeds or where we can go. Can you touch how important?
Yeah, if you're interested on the property deeds and anything on the property that's records, that goes through the clerk of the court. Okay. So that's totally separate from us. They're the ones who hold all that information. They have great records keeping for Seminole County. One of the best websites out there. Grant Malloy's doing a fantastic job taking care of the courts for us. So it makes it really simple for everyone. Now, if you want to know your property tax amounts, usually you go to the property appraiser. They have that along with us. We both have the information on our websites.
Is the main one in the Sanford for Seminole County?
Well, it's funny. We're kind of split up. The sheriff and the clerk of the court are down in the 5 Points area that we're nearby the old Flea World, across the street from that. Now, me and the property appraiser and all the county commissioners are all in the old Sanford County Services Building in downtown Sanford is where we're all still located. There's a plan for us to eventually move all to the 5 Points, so we would all be there together. But they've been talking about that for a long time, so it could be 10 more years. Could be 20 more years.
You never know.
I don't know. It's always based on money because it's very expensive. So
nice. I know you've been in real estate, and you understand how important to do the property research and property search. People wants to do the property before they buying. I know through the real estate, whatever. I'm just touching this in here. How do we even know that we even done the property search right way? What is it, how you make decisions like, oh, this property is good, is a good holding value, good, there's no problems on the property, there's nothing attached to it, no tax leaning.
Well, there's simple ways to check online. I mean, you would want to do a title search if you were going to purchase the property, to where they actually can give you like an insurance policy, because you'll get title insurance with it. So if there was a cloud on that title, you would have cut yourself covered. Meaning, and it could be, I mean, very rarely does anybody have a title search come back and have a title a claim on their title insurance. But I actually had one years ago, because I lived in a house for 3 years, and one day I just get an extra bill for $500, and I'm looking at the parcel ID, and it's not my parcel ID, but the builder who had built it had taken 2 lots and combined them and then made it into a new parcel. So I was paying the taxes on the new parcel, but this old one hung out there for 3 years until they caught on to it and said, hey, someone needs to pay these taxes. It's past due. And
it's you.
So we went to the title company. I said, you guys pay it. So
another really other issue people come across. Let's say I'm buying a house, and then later on the house was prior to their rented out, but the new a realtor never took off the rent. I'm still, I'm chasing it now as a property owner. Now it's still treated as a property. What should we do at the point of people coming out and say, you know what, I've been living in the house for 3 years, but previous owner never switched, was the rented out, and I'm like, as an owner, I never. Is there any kind of situation like that you come across?
Well, that would be homestead. If they would, and that's through the property
exemption,
appraiser again. The property appraiser handles all the homestead, all the filings. It's really simple.
Okay.
And if you own a house in Florida and you already have a homestead, you don't have to do anything.
Okay.
When you buy one, sell one, they will immediately, and they port your current homestead to the new homestead, and that's anywhere in the state of Florida. So, of course, depends on the other property appraisers in different counties if they do it, but here in Seminole, if you move from somewhere else, they have it automatically. They say, hey, you're going to port your homestead over. You still have to apply for it and say, this is going to be my homestead, but once you do that, it takes your discount and carries it over. So you're not paying on this new price. You get a discount off of that.
Got it. Now, my last question, then we go to the question that you have so many ideas, any infrastructure, anything that you guys are you can share with our Seminole County citizens. Concealed weapons and permits.
Yes.
How do we apply? How we are even eligible for it? Are we good candidate? What is the basically process to actually get the concealed weapon permit in Seminole County?
Well, you still have to go through the training.
Okay.
We don't do that at our office. Any of the training, you go to a school for that, and they'll show you, make sure your proficiency with a weapon, and make sure some are very simple with like a fake gun that shoots a fake bullet, and they shoot into a cork board, and that's your proficiency. So it's not that difficult to get.
Okay.
I myself have a concealed weapons permit for years, but you just in our office we do the applications.
Okay.
So it used to be when I did mine years and years ago, before there was concealed weapons permit in the tax collector's office, you would have to go to the police department, get fingerprints, then have that shipped up to Tallahassee, and then wait for it to come back. And it was a whole process. You're going, because everything was going through Tallahassee. Still that way down in Orange County, they don't have the tax collector doesn't do concealed weapons in Orange County. They have the Department of Agriculture that you have to go to in Orange County. But in ours, you would come to either our Castleberry or Lake Mary office, and we can process it right there. Usually get in right away very quickly with these. And we do digital fingerprints, fill out the application online, it gets immediately sent digitally to Tallahassee. So it just saves a lot of time.
So what's the time frame on average if your background looks great?
Just a couple weeks, everything comes back, yeah.
And then you're good to go.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, like I said, my last question, you look it up in camera and saying to Seminole County citizens, what is your next move for this year to end of the year and following this? What is the big projects, something expecting from Seminole County tax collector?
Yeah, you're gonna see a new tax program that we've introduced. That's gonna make things a lot more efficient. Last year we were limping through it still, but every year we're getting through more and more on that. We do have the new office that'll be opening in Altamont Springs, so that's opening up by January. That should be opened. A brand new, beautiful office being built there. It's an existing building, but it's going to be all new inside. I introduced kiosk systems to Seminole County, which we didn't have prior. Those are self-serve kiosks. You can get your tag renewals at the Wekiva, on the corner of Wekiva Springs Road and 434. We have one in the Publix in there, so you can go there any time of the day to go in there to, as long as Publix is open, you can go in there and print out your registration renewal right then and there. And we have another one in our Castleberry office, but we're moving that over to Oviedo Publix. to get better use of for the people of Seminole County to use. But other than that, we got a lot of good things happening, lots of new employees, so we're going to really pick up the pace and try to get the best service out there for Seminole County.
So guys, I did you a favor now. He did you a favor. Share all of his information. J.R. Kroll, thank you so much for coming out and sharing. It's a knowledge, like I said, if you can share the knowledge, touch the Seminole County citizens, just to understand the basic where to start with, how to even guys to find you, because there's a lot of misconceptions out there that we just don't know what to do, and then we turn, we're just going from one place to another one. Like you said, there's a lot of agency who are, totally disconnect and just like, oh, might be there. So before you even know, an entire day goes through, you still are sitting at the same place. So that's why my job is to bring you guys. I always said we interview you to educate them. So I really appreciate you coming to our podcast.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. We'll do again, and we'll be. I don't want to announce now, but we guys, please, something is really coming up with the JR. And a couple other tax collector reporting together. That will be a live and even more interested. Thank you. This is your special host, Tiggy. This is the episode 59. This is our special guest, Seminole County tax collector, J.R. Kroll. J.R. Kroll, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
And we'll post all of the information. Please like, share, and care, and subscribe to our channel. That's the only way we can grow. Thank you.
All right, thank you.